Hi guys, so in this tutorial we're going to do some PowerPoint, and we're going to cover the topic of adding graphics to a presentation, whether it's a picture or a shape. So the first thing we're going to do is insert an image that used to be kind of like a clip art image. If you were using anything that was 2010 or PowerPoint 2010 or earlier versions, it would insert kind of a clip art that PowerPoint provided. But now PowerPoint has this new icon that just will search images online, sort of like Google Images. So if you're adding an image that you want from an online source, you would need a Wi-Fi connection, and then you would go to this insert image icon right here for online pictures. And for the purpose of our presentation in this example, we're going to look for a picture of gears. So you just type in gears and then pick the image that you want. I like this one here, so I'm going to choose it, click on it, and then press insert, and then it will go inside of our content box. So you can also add a picture that you've saved from a file, and the icon for that is just the one beside the online pictures. It's just insert picture here, and then you would get locate the picture wherever you saved it is in your student data files, and then they want us to add the astronomy picture. So that's how you would insert a picture from file. Just click on the picture icon, find out where the picture is, and then just add it like that. You can also change a picture as well. Let's say if we go back and we realize, no, you know what, I don't really like this picture that I'm using, so I'm going to change it. I like the theme, the gears theme we have here, but maybe the picture doesn't portray sort of what I want it to, so we're going to change it by right-clicking on the picture, and then you have your change picture option right here, and I'm going to click on it. And then instead of searching online like we did before, maybe we found a better one that we saved previously, and we have one right here. It actually kind of looks kind of similar, but this probably has more gears in it, so we're going to click it, and now it's changed. So that's how you would change a picture if you go back and realize that's not the one we want. You can always change it by right-clicking and then going to change picture. We've got the pictures that we want. You can also add some consistency in where they're placed in your presentation. So we're going to use the ruler, grid lines, and guides to do that. And you can find that in the View tab. And then we have our three options here. So we'll click on ruler first. So if you want to move anything, you can see horizontally where things should go, and you can measure where they are placed in your slide. And then vertically as well, there's a ruler there. You could, if you want to be really specific, you could turn on grid lines as well. And then there's also guides, which is a little bit less specific, but probably better suited to what we're going to do. So we're going to turn on guides and then turn off grid lines. And then we're going to use these grid lines to measure where we should put our pictures and be consistent throughout our PowerPoint presentation. So now that we've got both the ruler and the guides highlighted, we can move these guidelines around. So we're going to move this first one, and what's nice, you can actually create multiple guidelines, and I'll show you what that's like too. So make sure you have this sort of, don't click on those boxes. I'm going to go somewhere where I can grab this line, and then I'm going to move it to the left about 4.5 to the left, and see how that line kind of matches up with our left content box, but also with the title box as well. So I'm going to leave it there, and then we're going to, you can also move the horizontal line as well, and I'm going to move that to, let's see if I can grab it here, to about just the top there. Actually, it should be, I'm going to line it up with the top of the words, so it should actually be around 1.67. See how it tells me exactly where the top of our solar system point is. So that's, I'm going to place that horizontal guide there. If I want to create more horizontal and vertical guides, I can just go to the guide and press Control and then click it, and see that plus sign, it tells me that I'm going to create another one. So I'm going to move another guideline, a vertical one, to the right to line up with the title text box around 4.5 to the right, and then I'm going to let it go, press Control. Now see what I did, I pressed Control too early, and it took the vertical line away from there. So let me try that again. So I'm going to press Control. I'm going to click on this, press Control, create another one, and then I'm going to make sure to drop it at the 4.5 mark, and then let go of Control. Okay, so let go of the line on your mouse, and then let go of Control, and then it'll create another one. Okay, whereas I let go of Control first, and then it deleted that line. So now we can start matching our pictures here. So we can line this picture up kind of in the corner. It's all lined up now in that box, and you can line your other pictures up the same way. So you see how this is just missing from our set guidelines here. And then your other picture as well. See how it's just missing that consistency and alignment. So yeah, you could do that for all the pictures as well, and just keep doing it so the alignment is consistent throughout your PowerPoint. And then we can get rid of these guidelines. You could take off the guides, but that doesn't change where they're from, so if you want to just get rid of them, you could just say delete here, and delete. I'm going to delete this one on the right, and this one too. So now that I've got everything in place, I can delete my guides if I wanted to. And so now what's nice is if I delete those lines that I created, if I go back, I can kind of go back to the start. When I click on guides, it'll just go back to the lines that were there originally. So even though I've deleted them, they will come back if you click on guides again. So that is it for using the ruler, grid lines, and guides. Okay, so now we're going to rotate and flip an image. So the first thing we're going to do is ignore what we just said about consistency, about putting the pictures in the exact same spot as the other slides, and put it up on this right corner. And fun fact, this is Jupiter, and this planet right here, and this is 4 of the 63 possible moons that Jupiter has. And they actually have another fun fact is Jupiter might even have more moons than that, we just don't know yet. So these are all the moons of Jupiter, and we're going to switch the orientation. Under the Picture Tools tab, make sure the picture is clicked so that the Pictures Tool Format tab comes up. And then we're going to go to Rotate, and when we say Flip Horizontal, we're going to flip, make sure Jupiter is now on the right side instead of the left, and the moons are on the left side. Okay, so just flip horizontally, and it changes the layout. And then we're going to click on slide 4 with the wrenches, and then we're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to do a different rotation. So we'll click here. We'll click on the picture, go to Picture Tools Format tab, and we're going to rotate this one 90 degrees to the left. Okay, so we can rotate our picture, flip and rotate our picture. And if you want to manually rotate a picture, you can also just grab this handle right here and just rotate it as much as you want, or however you want it. So yeah, you could do that. Alright, so now we're going to crop an image. So we're going to use this picture, and then we're going to click on it. And you see how the protractor is closer to this side and very far away from the edge of this side. So we're going to crop that to fix it. So in the Pictures Tools Format tab, you can find Crop, which is in the Size group here. And we're going to crop just to the left side. We're going to cut the picture off just to make it a little bit more even on both sides. So it doesn't give an exact measurement, but that's about where we should crop to. And then just click outside of the picture, and now we've cropped the picture so that the white space on both sides is equal. And then we're going to turn back our turn our guides back on in the View tab to position this picture in a good spot. So we're going to click the View tab, turn back on our guides, and these are the ones we had in the previous exercise. So we're going to line this left corner of the picture up at the left corner of the guide and drop it there. Alright, so now I'm going to show you different ways that you can resize an image. So we're going to take this image right here, and using the ruler, so remember to get to the ruler, I went to the View tab and clicked on the ruler, and that way I can resize it to match any position on the horizontal ruler or the vertical ruler. And in this example, I'm going to try and match this picture and bring it closer to the center of the ruler, so to the 0 mark. So I'm going to click this little resize handle here in the lower left corner, and I'm just going to bring the picture to the center. The only problem with this is that it cuts out the title, as you can see, and there's different ways to fix that, some of which we're going to get into a little later. But one quick way to do that is to go to the Format tab and then just press send backwards until the picture is behind the font, which would work too. But there's also some other ways that we're going to use that by deleting the background, but we're going to get into that later, so I'll just leave that there for now. In this picture, there's also another way you can resize a picture by right clicking and then clicking on size and position, and then this format picture pane comes up here. So we're just going to change a few things with this picture. One of them is we can change the height right here. So we'll change the height to 3.7, so I'll make it a bit smaller. And then we'll change the width is already 3 inches. So that's our perfect size right there that we want. And then you can also open the position box here. And we're going to change the vertical position to, we're going to increase it to 2.21. It's not much of a difference, but anyways, that's how you would affect the horizontal position on the slide or the vertical position. And then from the top left corner. And then I'm going to close this task pane. And then I'll go to our last picture here and click on it. And we're going to turn the, so another way to resize a picture is actually to go up here in the format tab, picture tools format tab, and you can increase the width or the height here and just kind of play around with the size. So we're going to make this the width 4.2. We're going to shrink it a little bit and make sure that the height is 4 inches. And then what we could do if we want to just change the size but still meet our guidelines that we had earlier, we'll go to the View tab, click on Guides, and then we'll just position it back to where it should be, but we've made the image a lot smaller. Or a little bit smaller, not that much, but that's 3 different ways you can resize an image. So just like charts and smart art, you can also add a style to your picture. So we're going to go to the picture tools, make sure your picture is, you click on your picture first, and then we're going to go to the picture tools format tab, and then we're going to click the drop arrow to get more options here. And what we want is a soft edge oval. So if you think about what that means and what it would look like, instead of trying to go one by one through these images, so we want one that's an oval but has kind of like a soft edge with like very little lining. So you might think of something like that, but that's actually has a black outline. Something with a soft edge is like this, so we got our soft edge oval style here, and that's the one we want. And see, that looks nice for our picture. And so just you know, you can choose your styles here. If you want more of a frame, you can choose that as well, but for this for our purposes, we're going to choose this one. And so that's where you go, picture tool format, and then pick a style for your picture. Alright, so sometimes you need to correct a picture, maybe you made an error or the quality isn't that great, so we can correct the picture. So we're going to do that with this picture. You see how it's a little bit too bright? We're going to change that. So we're going to go to click on the picture, and then go to the picture tools format tab, and then there's this option here to make corrections. So the 2 corrections are either softening or sharpening an image, and then also increasing the brightness or decreasing the brightness of the picture. So in our example, we're going to decrease the brightness here just by clicking this. So we decrease the brightness of the background, and we're going to increase the so we're going to sharpen the image a little bit by sharpening the protractor by 25%. And also, if you wanted to make other corrections, like if you wanted to get really technical with it, you could go to picture corrections options under the corrections drop arrow, and then this format picture pane would show up on the right side. So let's say if you want to go a little bit more bright with this, or a little bit more sharp with the protractor, we can increase that. Let's say if we want more contrast between the object and the background, we can also increase that too. So those are just 2 ways to correct a picture. You could go to the corrections, or you could go to the even further and go to picture corrections options, and that would pull up this format picture pane right here where you can make more corrections. Alright, so now we're going to apply color adjustments to our pictures. So I'll explain what all the color adjustments do. So I'm going to click on my picture and then go to the format tab, and then we're going to click the color drop arrow. Now I've got a few selections here that are my favorites. Something like the washout is really good for a background, but let's explain the 3 sections here. So saturation, 0% saturation is kind of like grayscale that we've used to print pictures. There's like no color at all. And then there's saturation 400, which would be like very vivid colors like you see in the example here. So that's saturation. Whether you want, you know, more color or less color in the picture is up to you. So that's saturation. How much does the color show through? And then color tone refers to the subtle tint of the image's color, which ranges from warm temperature, so it goes by temperature, the color tone, which is more red, or more like a cool temperature, which is more blue. So it just ranges from your blue to red, blue being cold temperature, red being a warm temperature. So I don't know, maybe in this example we'd probably want more of a blue, maybe underwater, but that's how color tone works. And then recolor just enables you to select a color that, to place over the image, or set it to grayscale. So there's a few options here. Choosing, and I like some of these options. They have like a faded, like something like this. The washout effect is my favorite for doing a background because you can kind of see the image, but you can also easily place things over top of that image because it's blurry. So if you want to do like a black and white, so you have different color presets there. So anyways, let's actually try and make some variations on this. We'll go back to our image and just test out a few things. So we'll go back to our color arrow, and then let's try changing the saturation to 200. So we're at 100 before, so we're just gonna add a little bit more color, a little bit more vivid colors in there. We don't want them too vivid, but just increasing them by 1 to the right is fine. And then we're gonna click on more variations down here to get more colors, you know, even more colors if you want, and then you can choose more colors here too. So just to show you again, and then we can also go to picture color options, and you see the format picture pane comes up, and we have even more selections here. So in the picture color section under color tone, we're going to change to 7000. So we're going to increase the temperature, which would mean it would turn our fish to a little bit more red. So bring up more of the red in the fish. So probably easier just to type. So yeah, we get a little bit more red, a little bit warmer temperature than we had before. And that's just some different ways that you can change the color of your pictures, or adjust the color of your pictures. Alright, so now we're going to add picture effects to an image. So you can also add effects to an image, so we're going to do that here under the the picture tools format tab, and then go to picture effects, and we're just going to add any bevel you want to this one. I'm going to choose angle because I think it looks nice in this example, so I'm going to choose that one, and that's how you would add picture effects. So besides just picture effects, you can also add in artistic effects to the image if you want. And I've used this really effectively on a few sides, and maybe I'll show that in the next few tutorials on how to do that. But the first thing, just to add artistic effects to an image, you just click on the image, go to Picture Tools Format tab, and then we're going to choose Artistic Effects. Now I'm just going to preview a few of these. You can see what some of them might look like. You might want to try some. I don't know, whichever one looks nice. But we're going to, I think the one that really enhances this picture is paint strokes. So we're going to click on that and leave the picture like that, and it looks nice with our image. Alright, so now I'm going to remove the image background on this picture, because remember that it's covering the font, and as in this example you actually could put it into the background, but sometimes it's nice to be able to remove the background and then just use the objects in the picture. So we want these objects, but we want the background completely gone. So the way to do that is click on the picture, go to Format tab under the Picture Tools tab, and then remove background. Now the good thing about this example is it's really tough, like super tough to work with, because there's not much of a contrast in some of these examples between the object and the background. Like this is a very faded outline here, and it's gonna give us a lot of trouble, this one right here. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So anyways, this whole, and that's a good thing, because most pictures are gonna give you trouble. There's not a lot of, unless you're taking a picture in a green room, green space, or like there's great color contrast between the object and the picture, you're gonna have a hard time removing the background. So this is a good example to use. So if I went to keep changes, it would only show us the planet here and not its moons. So the way you can keep those is by going to mark areas to keep, and hopefully you don't have to do this too much. You just kind of click on, sometimes you have to do it a few times. See, now I got it. Got that one in one try. I got that one in one try. This one, a little bit difficult. So you know what, I'm gonna zoom in and make sure that I fully get it, because although we sort of use a black background and it wouldn't show the mistakes, I kind of want it, just in case they change the background to white, I want to make sure that we get this. So I'm gonna say from the outside, see, there we go, we got most of it, there we go. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay, so I think the key is if it's tricky, just zoom in. And it's not going to be perfect, but that's our image. Just mark. It was a little bit more round. I think we cut some off here. It's kind of tough, but anyways, I think we got most of it. It was starting to fade to black, and then we kept the changes that we need to. So if you're done making corrections, just keep the changes. And now the picture is more of an object. If I was to move it around, so I could move it closer, and the background's gone, and just the objects that we chose are there. So yeah, it's not easy, but you can, if you zoom in, it'll make it a little bit easier for you. So just remember that when you're removing a background, remember to zoom in if any objects in the picture are giving you trouble. Alright, so with all the changes we made to the pictures, we've actually increased the size of the file, which can make it difficult to, if you're working with a slow projector, or if you're sending it by email, it might be a bigger file. So I'll show you what I mean here. If you go to the File tab, you can check the size of your PowerPoint. Ours is 1.18 megabytes, and 1 megabyte is about 1024 kilobytes. So it's pretty big for a PowerPoint presentation. So the way to reduce the size of the file would be to click on a picture, and then under the Picture Tools Format tab, we're going to go to Compress Pictures. And it says Compress Pictures because you can click on one, but also apply the effect to all of the pictures in the presentation. So we're going to click Email, and then if you wanted to apply it to only this picture, you could, but we're going to leave that blank because we want to apply it to every picture in the slide. And then we're going to press OK, and then Save. And now look what happens. So now you see that we've reduced the size significantly of our presentation, so it'll upload a lot more quickly for you, just by compressing the pictures. So you see how it was over 1,000 kilobytes before, now it's around 230, just by compressing the pictures that we used. And that's it for adding graphics to a presentation. Thanks for watching if you stuck it out this far, and we'll see you in the next one.